So our whole restaurant is about 50 seats. We have a main dining room which has a bunch of share plates, also large format dishes. And then we have an 8-person chef's counter where we do a tasting menu Wednesday through Saturday. So it's kind of 2 experiences in one restaurant. Cooking in California, especially San Francisco, I think it's, to buy the best ingredients and try not to mess them up too much. I think our cooking is very simple, definitely rooted in French technique, but I definitely go towards Japanese flavors, just because I'm Japanese. But I think the philosophy is just buy the best product possible, seasonal for sure. In Hawaii, it sometimes get lost because we're all almost in kind of a summer, but we do source as seasonal conscious as possible, following the seasons of say California. I think we wanted to have people watch us work, and I think when I go out, I love to go to sushi bars because you can see the chef working. So I think the mark of a really great kitchen is, to see, one, how clean it is, how everyone's working very methodically, but people are having fun. I mean, our cooks wear t-shirts, so, we're very disciplined, but we should be having fun, and we want everyone to see that. We look back to look forward, I guess, so a lot of the ancient Hawaiian techniques and ingredients like ulu, which is breadfruit, and taro, they're kind of becoming in vogue again. That's what the native Hawaiians survived on, for centuries. So it's, to explore that further is kind of what we're looking towards. I think the diners in Japan are extremely savvy. That's become, probably Tokyo is probably the best food city in the world. I've been there, I think 8 times in 4 years now, and just the quality of food is incredible. Also hospitality. So I think they're really looking for, for us to show them what we do. I mean, a lot of the times they come in and they just say chef's choice. So I also notice a lot less aversions, from diners from Asia. Like, a lot of them just no allergies. It's now, I think diners in Hawaii, it's like gluten-free or, not so much, dairy-free. It's like, you don't really see that with travelers, and I think they're willing to, obviously, we've become a little bit of a destination restaurant, but, they're just seeking what we do, which is like the ideal for a chef, right? Just put in your hands and just try to wow us. I mean, when our dishes have to be changed towards restrictions, and it becomes not as fun. Yeah, spent 4 years up in Hyde Park. I think what I've learned is, kind of just put your head down. Don't ask a lot of questions, but just, yeah, chef. So it's kind of what I did for over 10 years, working in New York and San Francisco, and I also, tried to work for the best people. So I think a mentor early on said that, the next job should always be better than the last job. So, kind of challenge yourself. And, I felt like I did that. I think, in the past, I would say 10 years, I think 20 years ago, egg became a huge focus, which is a good thing because, Hawaii imports 80% of all their food, so, if there is ever a huge natural disaster, we're kind of, it's, it's not good, so there has been a movement towards agriculture, and a lot more farmers now, a lot of small farmers, and definitely more conscious about, the ocean and, overfishing. I mean, Hawaii, I will say, the fishing, they're probably the best in the nation about not overfishing, only hitting quotas, and anything that gets sold at Honolulu Fish Auction is only from Hawaii waters, so it's not like they're going to, everywhere else and bringing stuff in. It's not like, Japan. So, obviously our huge resource is the ocean, and, we try to, capture that and, showcase that as much as possible. Vegetables, it's kind of been the trend past 5 years. I think, with definitely overfishing, with people not eating as much protein anymore. I think vegetables, if you treat them the right way, I mean, there's certain dishes that I have, I'm like, oh, I could be a vegetarian if I ate this, you know? So I think vegetables have always been a side component, but they can easily be the star. You know, one of our signature dishes is a vegetable dish, you know, and it's, a lot of people say, oh, I don't even like cabbage, but they, you know, it's like, so it's, if you know, have a great ingredient and you treat it with respect, then it could easily, vegetables are, you know, they're good for you. They're also, you know, can be very, very satisfying as a protein. Number one, Ron Siegel. Ron, you know, I don't think a lot, I mean, I think he's very famous in the Bay Area, but, you know, he started the French Laundry with Thomas and Stephen Durfee. You know, he's a legend. He's my mentor. I worked for him for almost 4.5 years, 5 years in San Francisco at 2 different places. And obviously his direct mentor, Thomas Keller. I think those are the 2 people who really shaped my career. You know, working for Thomas in New York, you know, we still follow the way we learned, you know, how to be in a kitchen, you know, through Thomas and through Ron. So those are the legends, and I mean, they're right here in the Valley. So, you know, you're very fortunate to be in their kitchens. It's the ultimate discipline to be in their kitchen. You know, everything is extremely organized. Everything is a certain way. I mean, you know, we always joke, people who work through laundry and per se, we always joke, and we can tell when we go to other kitchens if they've been trained in a Thomas Keller kitchen. Just the way things are labeled, way things are put in place. Like it's a calling. There's a calling card, you know. So it's, you know, it's just trying to get better every day, and it's, you know, those kitchens are extremely competitive, which, you know, which creates a sense of uncomfort. But I think from that's really when you really learn, you know, when you're tested every day. Work for the best people. You know, I know money is become, you know, a huge obstacle, especially with, you know, rents, you know, just making it as a cook. But, you know, I always believe that we struggle early on and just get by. It's going to pay off later, you know, and I truly believe that. You know, I made a conscious decision early on to work for the best people, and it's paying off, you know. So, you know, I think I'm a testament to, you know, if you work hard, then, you know, good things will happen. As a young cook, I think you're really impatient. You know, that's the thing, you know. But, you know, if you also think that young cooks need to learn to stay at a place, you know, not just bounce around. I think, you know, that's the new trend is, you know, work 6 months here, work a year here. You don't learn anything in those time. You know, 2 years is when I feel like when you really start grasping, you know, the theory and really the expectation of the kitchen, you know. So anything less than that, it's for a resume. And I don't think a lot of chefs look at resumes anymore. I think they look at how long you've spent at a place, you know. So I think that's key. You know, we have a bunch of young cooks in our kitchen, and they're all from Hawaii. Most of them have never gone away before. So, you know, a lot of the ingredients and techniques we're using is completely foreign. So, you know, once they get comfortable enough, a lot of them are so shy and so nervous to present things, but we often work through dishes with them so they feel more comfortable, more empowered to do so. But, you know, having a collaborative kitchen is the best kitchen because, you know, the cooks take ownership if they're proud of, you know, the dish they're serving. So it's very important. I mean, I never would want to be in a kitchen where, you know, I would say this is the dishes, you guys got to cook it. You know, it's not going to be as strong, you know. So that's kind of every kitchen I've worked in. It's been very collaborative. I try not to party with my staff, honestly, because there needs to be a separation, I feel. But, you know, we take them out to dinners. I mean, you know, we travel with some of them sometimes, you know, definitely our upper management. But, you know, number one, I think it's important that young cooks, you know, we send them to dinner at a restaurant that we think that is great, you know. And I think for young cooks to see, you know, these vaunted kitchens, like, you know, sending my sous chef to the laundry, you know, he came back and was like, oh, you know, what we're doing is like kind of the same, you know, not as fancy, but, you know, the techniques that they're using is the same, you know, so they're very proud of what they're doing. You know, it's hard to reset and refresh. I feel like business owners never turn off. I don't think you're really allowed to, but, you know, I mean, you know, family time obviously is a huge thing for me. I have a young son. I think that's, but, you know, going out to a nice dinner, I know it's the same thing as what we do, but I think for a lot of chefs, that's a good refresh, you know, just to step away and, you know, go to a nice dinner, be served, be cooked for. I think that's the way we kind of refresh.